Good morning. Okay, so today for science, I'm going to actually show you what I want you to do instead of typing in instructions. So if you don't watch this, you won't know what to do. And then I'll know you didn't watch the video. Y'all are so busted. Please watch these guys, all of them, the math videos, the science videos. Yeah, Miss Chapman and I put a lot of time into them to teach you what we would be teaching you if you were in class. If you don't think you need to go to class, you can tell your parents that you're ready to go to college now and you're good. You've got everything, right? I'm just teasing. Seriously, though, don't be lazy. Okay, so when you look on Thursday, April 9th, you're just going to see it says Science Interactive Notebook Activity, and it basically is telling you watch this all the way to the end so you know what to do. So I haven't attached the video yet because I'm making the video. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to your Google Drive. Okay, this is my Google Drive. Mine looks different. I have a lot of folders. I'm going to go into my 6th grade classroom. And then Ms. Chapman, I have a gazillion folders. I'm going to go to my science documents. You probably don't have nearly as many things, although you can organize your thing in folders within your Google Drive. So here's my interactive notebook. Your interactive notebook should be somewhere in your Google Drive. You might not have it in science documents, but it should be somewhere when you go into your classroom. Okay, I went into my classroom, and you guys all just have one classroom. I have multiple classrooms, so it should be there. So you're just going to click on it. Okay, and this is mine. Here it comes. It's a little slow right now. And I'm going to show you, we're going to actually do the 2 pages that you need to do together. I'm going to actually show you how to do them. So then, okay, so we're going to scroll down. I'm just scrolling away to, okay, there's stars. Okay, so we're going to get to, oops. Yeah, I haven't done all the pages on mine, but I have done the beginning of these. So yesterday, no, wait, this is Thursday morning. Wednesday or Tuesday, Wednesday. I've lost track of days, guys. Anyway, okay, so you did this page already and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You know, you could come over here to this little zoom thing and you can zoom, make it a little bit bigger if you want. So just be sure when you did this that you typed in the top, what the Northern Hemisphere was experiencing, what season the Northern Hemisphere was experiencing and the Southern Hemisphere was experiencing. So the Northern Hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, so it's getting summer, whereas the Southern Hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, so it's getting winter. And then if you just follow the seasons, you should get like what comes after summer in the Northern Hemisphere. After summer comes fall. After fall comes winter. After winter comes spring, and then you're back to fall in the Northern Hemisphere. If you want to check that you got the bottom ones right, make sure you start with winter over here because winter is the Southern Hemisphere is tilted away. If you start with winter, what comes after winter? Spring. What comes after spring? Summer. What comes after summer? Fall. And then you go back to winter. So you can double check that and make sure those look good. Okay, and then this is my answers. They're way more elaborate answers because I'm the teacher, but basically what this is saying is that Earth does not experience the same, all parts of the Earth don't experience the same types of seasons. The middle latitudes, or remember, like we're at like a 32-degree latitude, which is up from the equator, which is 0. So we're considered like the mid latitudes. It's also called temperate. Anyway, we're going to experience your typical seasons, cold winter, hot summers because of the tilt. And whereas the parts of the Earth, the people who live around closer to the equator are not going to experience the seasons as much as we do because they get about the same amount of sunlight on them all year round. So they don't have such a variety of temperature changes, something along those lines. So when I read yours, I'll just be looking for something along those lines. And then do planets have seasons? Do other planets have seasons? And you watch that video about some of the extreme tilt or barely a tilt or some tilt similar to Earth. And so as long as you just put something kind of intelligent about what you learned from that video, then it doesn't have to be all these details. Okay, so you've already done that. Today we're going to do these 2, and I'm going to minimize this a little bit more now because now it's too big. And really all you have to do is drag and drop the images below to show how sunlight strikes the surface where you live. So remember the little video you watched and the little interactive, well, actually the interactive activity really showed this. It showed how the angle, how this direct or how much direct or indirect sunlight we're getting in the Northern Hemisphere during the different seasons. And so you're just going to see, you may have to go back and look at that again, but I think you can remember it if you just pay attention because I'm going to go over them. So remember, summer is where we're getting the most direct sunlight. It's coming at the least angle, closest to a, just perpendicular straight down. So which one of these shows the closest to a straight down perpendicular? That would be this one. So you're just going to click it and drag it and put it over there. Just be careful you don't delete anything, which, by the way, if you accidentally delete a page, let me know. And because these are all shared, all of these are shared with me. Some of you, when you made copies, you haven't shared your copies yet, but don't worry about that. We'll get to that at the end of the video. Anyway, so long as it's shared with me, I can go in and, fix things. So don't worry about if you accidentally delete something. Okay, so then the next one I want to talk about is winter. Winter is going to be the one where so summer is the most direct, almost perpendicular, almost a 90-degree angle to the earth, whereas winter is going to be the most angled. We get the least direct sunlight during the winter. So which one of these shows the greatest angle? Well, this one shows the sunlight coming in at a much more drastic angle. So we're going to put, that is winter, right? Yeah, in winter. Now you notice these two are the same. Why are they the same? Because we talked about whenever the earth is on I'm saying the other side, but based on the video we watch, on the other side or on the front side, not the two ends. You can't see my hands. I hate not being in class with you guys. Anyway, when it's on those sides and it's getting about the same amount of direct or indirect sunlight. So basically spring and fall are the same. We have similar weather. So summer's the most closest to a perpendicular, winter's the least, and spring and summer are the same as far as the amount of sunlight that strikes the surface of the earth during the seasons. And then the last page, well, we're going to watch this video together. If for some reason this doesn't work, because sometimes sound is an issue, then you may need to go back and rewatch it. But it's pretty short. And then we're going to answer the questions together as if we were doing this in class. We watch the video, answer the questions together. Okay. And then I'm going to have you add a page and do one last thing. So don't think you're out of the woods yet. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start this. Full screen. I'm going to mess things up. I'm going to leave it small just because I'm afraid.
Winter, spring, summer, fall. Seasons. I just love them all. Other than inspiring me to make up goofy poetry, why wouldn't you love the seasons? There's always something to look forward to. You already know that summer means long days of fun in the sun, and winter means shorter days, not to mention building snowmen and making lots of Frozen references. Okay, so clearly the sun and seasons are linked. But how? You already know that the sun is pretty important. It is the center of the solar system, after all. You also know that our planet, Earth, revolves around the sun, making its orbit once every 365 days. And remember, Earth isn't taking that lap while it's standing straight up and down. Instead, it's tilted on its axis, the invisible line around which our planet spins. Put together, the Earth's tilt on its axis and the orbit it makes around the sun, and you get the yearly pattern we call seasons. Let's see how.
This is review, because we've already talked about all this on Tuesday.
Since the Earth is tilted, for part of the year, one of the hemispheres, which is half of the Earth, is leaning toward the sun, and the other part of the year, it's leaning away. Let's follow the northern hemisphere once around the sun to see how this works. In June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. This means that it's getting a lot of direct sunlight, light that's hitting it straight on. If you've ever sat directly underneath a bulb, you know that things can get pretty hot, and that's exactly what's happening to the northern hemisphere. It's summertime and the living is easy. Temperatures are warm and days are long. In December, though, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. It's getting indirect sunlight, meaning light is hitting it at an angle. Indirect sunlight means cooler temperatures, shorter days, and, for lots of folks, hot cocoa and bundling up since it's winter. But how can the angle of the sun's light make a difference between hot and cold? Well, try this little trick with a flashlight. Get a
This is actually a
flashlight
cool
and dim the
little trick
lights
if
in your
you
room a
can
little
do
bit.
this
If you turn the
after you
flashlight
watch
on
this.
and point it straight down onto your desk, you'll see a small, bright, concentrated circle of light. That's kind of how sunlight hits the northern hemisphere during the summer. Bright and intense. Now move the flashlight down at an angle and point it at the top of your desk. See how the light isn't as bright and is less intense where it falls? That's like the sunlight we get in winter. But what about spring and autumn? During these two seasons, the Earth's orbit causes the northern hemisphere to be neither tilted toward the sun nor away from it. So temperatures during the spring and fall are more moderate, not too hot and not too cold, since the entire globe is getting about the same amount of direct sunlight at once. Now, let's take a look at how the amount of sunlight affects temperatures in the northern hemisphere over the course of a whole year. An easy way to show this yearly pattern is by using a graph. This graph shows the average high temperature in each month for 1 year in Toronto, Canada, where I live. Looking at the graph, we see that during December, January, and February, when the northern hemisphere is getting very little direct sunlight,
Notice
temperatures
Celsius,
are low.
Fahrenheit.
And in the months of June, July, and August, when the tilt of the Earth on its axis is causing Toronto to get direct sunlight, the temperatures are much higher. Proof positive that something is going on here, and that something is this. The season that you're experiencing right this very minute is caused in part by the
Spring.
amount of direct sunlight you're getting. So, seasons are caused by the Earth's tilt on its axis as it cruises around the
We're
sun
over
in its
here.
orbit. When one hemisphere gets more direct sunlight, it's summer there. Temperatures are warmer, days are longer, and nights are shorter. And when it gets more
we're
indirect
not. We're over
sunlight,
here.
it's winter. Temperatures are cooler, days are shorter, and nights are longer. And now you know what causes summer, spring, autumn, and winter.
Okay, so that's just a really good review. I'm gonna go ahead and make this bigger. Again, oh, I should have made it bigger while we were watching the video. Oh, it's goofy, whatever. Y'all would go into your interactive notebook and you can rewatch the video if you'd like. So I actually just wanted to talk about these answers, and I'm actually gonna type them right in. So you know when you click on these boxes, you get a little text box that is already there. Okay, and then kind of double click, you get a cursor there. So it says, what is an orbit? Okay, and so I'm gonna type in, it's the path. You can jot this down and go back and add it to your interactive notebook once we're done with this video, whatever. The path and object. If we were doing this in class, you would be writing this down while I was writing it under the camera. We'd be watching the video together and writing these. So I'm trying to make it more like we're actually in class together, except your interactive notebook is not in front of you. Although you do have your science interactive notebook, you could write it in there and then type it, whatever. I'm just rambling now. Okay, so the path and object follows around another object. Oops. Such as a star. Okay. And then in June, the northern hemisphere is leaning toward the sun. Okay, in December, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, right? And then, oh, what did I do? Oh, okay, things are getting crazy. Oh, I'm going too far down my page. Okay. What is indirect sunlight? Okay, so we talked about it on the previous page, and then she talked about it in the video. Hang on, my notes are going away. Okay, so it is sunlight that is striking the Earth at an angle. Okay, don't you miss my terrible spelling? And then why are spring and fall temperatures more moderate? Okay, well, the entire globe is getting about the same amount of direct sunlight at once. Okay, so when the Earth is on this side and those opposite sides, where those seasons, the whole Earth as it's rotating is getting about the equal amount of sunlight. So whether in the northern or the hemisphere, you're getting similar temperatures and weather. One is spring, one is fall, but they're again similar. Okay, so now we're not done yet. Okay, last thing you need to do here. Sorry. Let's click over here. You're going to go under slide, and you're going to just do a new slide. Okay. Okay, and it's going to give you a slide right underneath the sun seasons. And when you come up here, your title, you're going to add, what did I say this was going to be? 3 interesting things I learned about the seasons. Why am I capitalizing it? Somebody who's good at grammar, tell me, am I supposed to? Okay, and then down here, you're just going to number off 1 and give me 3 good sentences about 3 interesting things that you've learned while we've been talking about the seasons. Then when you're done, so let's just, I don't know, you'll type in your 3 sentences. Okay, so when you're done, all you have to do is close out. But wait, I didn't hit save. Did my stuff save? Well, let's see. If I go back in to my interactive notebook, which hopefully by now we are on the ball with the interactive notebook, right? You guys are understanding how it saves. And I go back, it was like page 20 or something, right? Oh, no, it wasn't page. There it is. Look, there's my stuff. This is what we just did. This is what we just did. There's a new page I added. It's there because everything says, well, if I start typing something, see how it says saving and then all changes saved to Drive. It literally, this is why Google Drive is so cool. It's literally saved as you go. You don't ever lose anything. So I'm just going to close this. Then you're going to go back to this assignment. Okay. Now, when I click this, I don't have the same screen. You guys have this? I can only assign things, but you guys have that box over here that tells you that you can mark it as done, but it also has a way for you to attach it. Okay. Listen carefully. I want you to actually, yes, really, I mean it, after you've done those pages, especially after you've added the other page and given me 3 sentences, 3 interesting things you've learned about the seasons, I want you to actually attach your interactive notebook and turn it into me. I know I've been telling you not to do that, but I really want you to do it because we're having a nice 4-day weekend. Ms. Alpha is going to go in and grade all the chapters we've done so far, which is 3 chapters. No, 4. Yeah, I've been just kind of glancing at them, but this time I'm going to actually go in and try to grade them. And then I'm going to return them to you. Okay. So just kind of think about it like as a piece of paper at school. You come to school and you would turn in your papers to me. I physically am holding your paper. You may no longer write on it, make a change to it. It is in my possession. And then when you come back to school, I pass them back out to you. And now you may write on them again. So once you turn it in, that's why we had all those problems 2 weeks ago where I can't edit it anymore. I can't type in it because I mistakenly had you turn them in. But this time, turn them in. You don't need them for 4 days. Go have fun. Be with your family for 4 days. And then I will share them back with you probably next Wednesday. You won't need them before then. And then when I return them to you as graded, you should be able to open them again and continue on into the next few chapters. And yeah, so get your pages done. You can go back and rewatch that video if you want. Hopefully you wrote down the answers to the questions while we were talking. So you just have to go back and type them in. And that's it for science for today. And we won't see each other again for science till next Tuesday. Have a beautiful 4-day weekend. Landrum, have a great birthday. And yeah, if there's anybody else's birthdays coming up, let me know because I'm terrible about keeping up with that. Y'all just got to tell me. All right. Love you guys. Have a beautiful Easter. Bye-bye.